I was stalked. Got like a crazy message. That wasn't the cause of death. An escort. I haven't really actually got to seek that help to get me through that stage of life. My daughter's space after she was buried was vandalized. Like I
Mm.
can't explain the feeling that I was feeling.
Akeem, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, good. Welcome to the store. Well, welcome back. All right, so let's just, as usual, let's jump straight into it, not waste any time. Tell me about your childhood, that kind of stuff.
Uh, Born and bred, Borsaleaf. So I was a baby. Was in Kings Norton Ford, but that was vivid because I was already there for like my toddler years.
Mm.
As time went by, predominantly my childhood, born and bred Balls Heath. There wasn't much really to my childhood, like because from like 5 to say 8 and 9ish, my mind's kind of like vivid, if that makes sense. Teenagers, I went to 3 secondary schools: Moseley, Holy Trinity, Queensbridge, various different reasons. But
Mm.
my early teens, I kind of would say that they were just like I was trying to find myself within like what I wanted to be at that stage of
Mm.
life.
So Balsall Heath, because I know like Balsall Heath in Birmingham is quite notorious. So being a teenager raised in Balsall Heath at that time, what was that like for you?
Well, yeah, that's at the start. Obviously, growing up in the area, because we call Borsley top sides,
Mm.
right? And Highgate would be your bottom sides. So a portion of my childhood and early teens after school, there was the after school club. I attended there. St. Albans had some play schemes time to time. Always would be attending them. And then my uncle had like a football league at Calfort as well. So we was kind of distracted at first, but when you're outside, growing up, like just year by year, you start to clock on like what's going on. You got Goot Street, and you see like 20 guys outside and everything, and then you'll watch a movie paid in full, Menace to Society, and then you kind of put two and two together, and then from then I just kind of asked my mom because she's also from the area as well,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of the background story, and she told me like, yeah, this area is notorious for drug dealing and prostitution.
Okay. So that did that ever affect you at all as a teenager?
I wouldn't say it affected me because like I was kind of more indulged in family life. So I
Mm.
grew up with my cousins and stuff like that, and we was just always focused on other stuff like football was our life literally, or WWF, So it was like literally just those type of things. But
Mm.
say 13 to 14, then I was kind of intrigued. And for me, not that the lifestyle looked attractive or whatnot, but the unity of the guys just being outside and
Mm.
everything else, like I
Mm.
was drawn to that still. In the neighborhood, because this is how, especially in Birmingham, like there's so much different areas, right? And the area, depending on the mass size and everything, yeah. So, because you can't say, I was part of a gang or part of a section, but like me and my boys, and like predominantly, we had like a little squad and
Mhm.
what. So there's a couple of times parties and this that there were circumstances where we did get into trouble. My most serious was when I was 16, just about to turn 17.
Okay, tell us about that.
Uh, a dark day on my mother's birthday, actually, which is St. Patrick's Day as well, the 17th. I'll never forget it because just of the way of events. It was the year of 2012, and I had got arrested because I had a firearm on me. Now, it's a crazy story because I was supposed to disband of this firearm the exact day, um, and then I had got arrested for that.
Then did you get charged for that?
Yeah,
What did they charge you with?
they charged me with intimidate intimidation of a firearm because they didn't actually find the weapon,
Mm.
so it was just put as like for me to say, yeah, that was like a gas replica
Mm,
kind of thing. So then I ended up finding it. So I just went that route though because I was caught on camera
mm.
pulling out the gun in town because um, I had bumped into another party we had issues with, and then after a fight, I've just decided to pull out the gun, and you can see me as blatant put in town. So I just had to go that route.
So how did they come? Like, how did they find out that you was police there at the time,
No,
or
no,
did
they
someone
got
call
caught.
them?
Like it was
Mm.
literally uh, the end of the boring. So just
Okay.
right, it just brazen on the St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So within like, cause it's crazy because I called the man them as well to say, ah, boom, this person's in town. We've just had an altercation with them. Like let's pattern up basically. And then I was walking back towards where the Nando is at the bottom, and all I heard was armed police, don't move. Now, my cousin and my boy was with me. They instantly froze me, and I've got the facilities on me. I've instantly took off.
Mm.
I've took off. There's people within the public means that are trying to stop me. I've kind of moved them out the way. I've slid on the Sports Direct. I've slid down the stairs. I've through my facilities, and then as I'm coming back up the stairs, I've been kicked down the elevator, and then I was arrested with like all the armed police surrounding me, saying don't move at all, or it's that because they didn't know if I still had what
Mm.
on me, but yeah, and they couldn't find it, so it was all that they've just got me on camera, and I knew better than not to try to not guilty, and I was given good advice on that.
Mm. So how old were you at that time?
I was 16. I was just about to turn 17.
So at 16 years old, getting arrested by armed police, that's a big thing.
Yeah, well, to me, but this is it though.
Well,
Like
at that
obviously,
time anyway.
because you're in the mix and whatnot, you're in the hype, and like I'm saying, it wasn't supposed to. It's a crazy story. It is
Mm.
actually a crazy story because like yeah, at 16, you don't look at the circumstances that it was that, and literally it was a serious offense when I
Mm.
look back on it. But God's grace.
So I'm assuming you didn't have to get jail time or anything like that for that.
Well, because they were analyzing the seriousness of what it was, and
Mm.
then again couldn't put the two and two together
Mm.
of like if we can go the route of is it like a pretense or is it a real
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So it was either looking at like 2 to 3 years because you still can get like some time for replicas and everything. Uh, then it was my first offence, so I managed to get 12-month probation, providing that I didn't miss a day and I completed all my tasks because it was a serious case.
Mm. I'm assuming that you completed it and
I
everything was
did complete
fine.
it, and that was the transition point of my life because probation, more than college and school, kind of gave me the drive that I actually needed
Mm-hmm.
at the time. So it's crazy to say this because we're not supposed to be even like not even glorifying, but be like I'm thankful for probation
Mm.
because naturally, like if I could go back in time, I would have just studied.
Yeah. So your transition, what was that like for you? So what did you go into after that?
My transition, well, when I was on probation, I had like um, a black lady, Caribbean, and she was no relations, but she felt like an auntie to me because she really wanted to guide me in the path of like just focus and actually being successful.
Mm.
So she was putting me on like different programming of like warehousing, gardening. My first one was gardening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did it for a couple of months, but UK, the weather disgraceful. I was like, nah, nah. That was like, so it wasn't for me. Then again, I was still like in and out my way of like, what am I gonna do? Like, what do I have a passion for? One probation session, there was another mentor, Asian guy. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna cook. We're gonna cook South Asian food, like a chicken masala with chapati and rice and whatnot. I cooked the meal and everybody was rating it, so I was like, "Ah, this might be my pattern." Did catering, so from there.
And you loved it. So after you done your catering, did you go back to, because you're 16 in it? So
Yeah.
did you go back to college or?
Nah, you from it was based on an apprenticeship, and I
Mm,
say it's a transition of my life because I ain't really gone deep into like um the kind of crowd I was, because I wouldn't necessarily say that my crowd was bad
mm,
or anything. Like we were just and it's crazy because that's what my particular thing was, not basing myself to a postcode or and whatnot. So I had different friends from different area codes, and we
mhm,
was just used to meet in town and stuff. But I was trying to transition out of that, and it's mad because as soon as something happened with me, like five to six other people around my section or my everyday people, they all got like crazy, um, crazy cases as well. So
mm.
they also got arrested, and it just was like, okay, then a wake up sign because after that, it's like without saying everything, everyone kind of dispatched and kind of
Yeah.
got focused onto what they actually want to do in life.
Yeah, so everyone decided like, nah, this ain't this
Like they say,
this
like
ain't it.
it's close calls. Like mine with the facilities of the firearm and being a serious matter.
Mm,
Literally a week later, we was circulating where to have pride and whatnot. And obviously, if you're in the field or the trenches or whatever they call it now, sometimes you try to pick up easy targets, or like that there's gonna be a busy day, so you know that drunk people they're gonna let like be loosened on a back road or stuff, so you
mm,
can get like a quick robbery on that.
mm,
So, but one day turned dark and we almost, well, we not we, but my friend, he knocked somebody out, almost killed him,
mm.
almost killed the person, and it's like literally just a punch. He hit his head off the pavement, and it could have been anything. And it's like after these rare events of what we're seeing, yeah, literally everybody just goes, yeah, you know what? You know what? And we're young at this point, like
Mm.
16, 17, 18, to be like, I think we actually want careers. That jail thing and sitting in still house, it's not for us, man. It's
Everyone
not
was
for
like, nah, I
us.
don't want to do this no more. That's good. That's good though. So you doing your catering now. Did you eventually like get a proper job in catering?
So yeah, I got an apprentice from that.
Mm-hmm.
So my apprentice led me to a school in Solihull,
Yeah.
um, and I was doing my trade there. Over time, didn't it it didn't work out, and then I had to transition from the school to finish it with the actual people that were giving me the qualification, which was Southern City,
Okay.
from an apprenticeship. My final year, luckily, there was somebody that was taking maternity leave. I was offered position.
Okay. And how was your time at South and City?
The first few years were good. Like it was really, really, really positive, and like there was so much helpful people within the college,
Mm,
and just it's like when they came across me, it's that they seen something that you you not, and there's no disrespect to like the catering industry or nothing, but you seem like you deserve to be more than where you positioned,
mm.
kind of thing, you know. So the first couple of years were kind of decent, and just other events out of like my life and whatnot. Because at this time, 18, 19, 20 in this job, there's still me transitioning out the life of hanging outside, um, and just having like a every other day job and a serious job at that,
Mm.
So I was just adapting. So in like years to come, I'd say just around 2018 and 19, I was trying to transition into a change because now I got that I want to do my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So in the final, and I say final year because of the storyline, um, so there's a redundancy scheme offered, which I took instantly because I wanted to build on what the redundant scheme was going to be.
Yeah.
So it was accepted. Paperwork was there, hadn't got sent to email for me to sign it, or for them to sign it, but it was verbally agreed. As it was coming closer to the dates, and I'm asking the corresponding HR team, can I get my letter to sign it? Can I get my letter to sign it, please? And just want my signature on it because beforehand I'm seeing what's going to come next, which just before a month late prior to me actually having my leaving date, 11th of July, like say the 6th of June, there was like unfortunately we had to take back the redundancy scheme and kind of we will still need you at that like in the position that we have for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough for me. So on that when I seen the email, I left.
Mhm.
I left because obviously it just showed kind of how not the industry, the not industry, but how the system kind of works and stuff. Like when it's beneficial for them, if they have a redundancy scheme and they have to let people go, they will do that instantly, and that's
Mhm.
just that. And it's like we had the verbal agreement, and I wanted to leave on that circumstance. However, there was a deeper story behind that. I also wanted to leave because I was stalked within the college. Just one random weekend, on my Instagram, I'm scrolling, and I got like a crazy message from an escort. I'm like, wow, because this is new to me. I'm still
Mm.
growing up and whatnot. I was like, yo, this is new to me. I know that I've been around the hood and whatnot, but all this other stuff, yeah,
Mm.
is new to me. And then obviously social media and stuff, and just people like just putting themselves out there. I'm like, first of all, that's insane. Yeah, and second of all, like I'm not really interested in whatever. Then they revealed like, they know my name, they know where I work. Well, like, okay, like this is strange. Oh,
Mm.
what the hell? It's like, just 200 to do this, 200 to do that, and whatnot. I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down. I'm blocking the account.
So
There's,
what? It's before you carry on, were they trying to like blackmail you by saying like they know your name, they know where you work, and that
well,
kind of thing?
well, well, basically, yeah.
Mm.
Well, pretty much, yeah. And then at a given time, right, they continue to make accounts and stuff. And you know how like sometimes with your socials, like your numbers linked to your social accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get a call. They've got my number and everything. Persistent. Also, I'm gonna put on the line that um the person was we refer to them with the pronouns. Well, the person was into like cross dressing and all that type of thing,
Mhm.
but it was a male. I think they identify still as a male,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
was doing that as an escort.
Mhm.
And I was just saying crazy stuff like, don't think that you're special because there's various black boys in Birmingham that are from this like hood environment that have already been. And for me, again, not my information, not my business.
Mm.
So again, I'm still blocking and everything to a point where there's like 17 accounts that I've had to block.
Oh
Right,
wow.
right. As it's going on for like a period, I'll say for a month and a bit. Um, they've managed to again have my access to my number. Now, I'm never going to agree to none of the circumstances that were being presented, you know. However, yeah, I was probably n- low in financial gain.
Mm.
So I was like, okay then, and where I'm coming from, I could potentially make if the person says that they're making money or stuff like that, I'm gonna try and put them in a position where I'm going to make a robbery.
Mm.
However, then I quickly instantly thought and said, no, because then I have to agree via message, via anything, to something that I'm not really with or, so I was
Mhm.
like, nah. I had to rethink out of that and be like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go that route. So I just, again, instantly blocked it. But when I did my research and then I was linking the number and I was doing my own personal, I linked it that they were working at the college. So I was
Mm.
like, wait, that's crazy. And then from that, it was always just like a time ticking bomb of when I was actually gonna like let it be known that this was going on, kind of thing.
Mhm. Did you ever go to the police about it?
No,
Did you not go because I don't know that that's how the environment came from. Like, obviously, you don't go to the police, or did you find like it's probably embarrassing, or no one's gonna believe you, or
You know what it was like. This was one of the ones where I, s- I mentioned it once to kind of my cousin, kind of thing. That's like he will know like kind of how to navigate this and
mm,
everything. And like that was it because this was at like the early stages. I was like, yo, like what? It was like, oh yeah, no, that's crazy. The police thing again. Where we come from,
mm,
we don't do that, and
yeah,
we don't do that. Like
mm,
regardless with any information and whatnot, and then I can't go to like really my people inside because I know how they're gonna try and handle the
mm,
situation, you know, or what's expected of me. But I'm in a professional matter that if I do something here, yeah, and then they do find out that it's linked to boom, this, that, I believe that there's no coming back because obviously the line of the strength of the community and everything, and I believe that is deemed as a hate crime, and yeah, there's no coming back from that, especially in the UK.
yeah, that's true. So what came of it? Did that person get like reprimanded? Did they get in trouble?
So once I reported this into the system, yeah, the college was telling me that I was like I didn't have sufficient evidence that this was going on and whatnot,
Mm,
you know. So with me, when it comes to like proving or like trying to make sure that my standpoint is clear,
mm-hmm,
I'm willing to go in every source of direction to know that like I'm not capping. So I've had to get my old phone, which is halfway broken, and kind of thing, go into like the Google store, photo store and stuff like that, and get like some of the messages that were being sent and the non-responsive act to it and stuff. And I presented it. Again, they're still kind of were being dismissive. The put it was on like mental health, and it was like you can still work here, and they were really trying to just put it under the carpet and not
mm-hmm.
really have it out there. So to me as well, it's like these that kind of know that that's their second occupation outside of this college thing, or because I'm missing something. Like, why are you telling me that I can work like 2 hours and get full wage and stuff like that?
Mm,
No, I told you that I want to leave.
yeah.
So boom, um, it come to the point where they were just trying to be dismissive of what was already presented. I'm gonna go the extra length. So okay, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You know what's gonna work? I'm gonna go on social media. I'm gonna go my IG story. Say, listen, this is a college. This is a college where obviously the young adults, 16 and 17, they're still young adults, but they're still under like their guidance of their parents, right? I'm
Mm,
like, we're sending our kids and stuff like that to colleges and facilities like this where the upper hierarchy know what's going on with certain people's
mm,
profile, but they'll sweep that under the carpet. And it's crazy with the South End City because there's various stories afterwards and out there that there's people that had Buki allegations
mm,
on their records and stuff, and they've worked for the college. So me going on there again never happened to me. Some of my stories were censored. Like like people couldn't see them. Like I'm going back on my story and I'm seeing 11 views. I'm like, on a good day, on an average, I hit like 120. You
mm,
know. So what's going on? It's censored. My boys confirmed to me that it's censored. They're behind the censoring because I've mentioned them in Southern City, at Southern City, at
yeah.
Southern City. That's kind of working, but I'm gonna go one step further. I'm gonna go inside the college, say stop playing with me. Yeah,
Mm,
get the guy from HR right now. I want like let's me and the guy are speaking man to man in the HR. He knows that they're in the wrong and everything. But again, they have to follow protocol. No, I don't want to hear none of that. Then to the point where I'm saying like it's not really threatening or sending a threat. But if I'm not getting any form of compensation or settlement or everything, I will be trying to get somebody down from this college. Do you understand me? Understood. Citizens advice. We made a settlement. That was that. And they've had it as a gag order. I didn't even know what that really was, and I didn't really do my
mm, mm.
research and whatnot. But I took it anyway, and I feel like obviously I settled for less because I didn't even know the extent of like
What a gag order is, yeah.
what that is, and also as well like for them to be like, you can't really try to tell me that I'm gonna be censored with this story because it's something that like you guys should be aware of as well and
Mm,
take more protocol with who you're hiring for your organization, especially when it's a line of education.
yeah.
Is that like
Especially because they're like younger kids there. Is like they start at 16, college starts at 16. So
This
so
is
at
it.
this time when you like doing all this reporting and stuff, is this the person that was doing the stalking? Are they still at the college? Can they see that you're like sending or do they know
No,
that this is
you see,
happening?
after I reported it in, because how I fully knew, that's probably what we missed out is
Mm.
that I said like when they was doing all these accounts and whatnot, like if you know who I am and stuff like that, I'm a workplace, like present yourself. And then on the mad thing they did, and I goes, you know what? Okay, then
So
some
they
further.
actually
Like,
replied and said, "Yeah, I'll tell you who I am."
no, they didn't reply. I just left it at that. But I'm
Mm.
saying once I got to work that day and stuff,
Yeah.
like I remember I was walking through the hallway and whatnot. The person literally has, oh yeah, like it's really me, and I literally like I froze instantly because like if I do anything crazy right here, I'm going to jail. Not I know I'm going 35 for life.
Mm.
You know, so I then again I had to take some deep breaths, get to my station, and be like, okay, then I process it and be like, okay, then time's ticking. But yeah, I don't really necessarily know what their consequence was after that.
Mm.
I actually don't know.
So after that, so the time that they presented themselves and basically said, "Yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
one that's
yeah,
stalking,"
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't see them again.
Yeah, I didn't see them
That's
after.
crazy. So
Yeah.
they just like disappear.
Yep.
So do you think like because obviously stalking is never really taken serious anyway, but do you think if you were a girl and this was happening to you by like a man, do you think they would take it a lot more serious?
It probably would have been, yeah, 100%. And it's like for me, like for it's easy for me to crash out like with the um industry and I mean not the industry man with the system and stuff like when it gets to those kind of things. But like especially me being from a Jamaican background on both sides and stuff, like I didn't feel comfortable with letting like my close inner circle know and stuff.
Mm.
Because again, I let one cousin know and I let our other cousin know, and then he questions like, "Ah, so are you like that and stuff?" And then me and him were gonna go like. I looked at him crazy and I was remember like, listen, boy, you do not want me to go to jail tonight. Stop playing with me, you know. But that was, yeah, that was it was crazy still. But I can't really I guess I went in depth, but like just all the way deeper
Yeah.
into like,
And is that because, well, now because you understand
yeah,
what the
yeah,
gag
yeah,
order is? So, like, I
yeah,
think that means like no names and,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
basically, you're just not supposed to speak about it at all, I think. But
yeah. More or less, yeah.
so after that event, so you left that job. So where are you at in life at that point
So at
now?
this point, like I'm saying, I had my little brand that I was trying to monetize
Mm.
lunchtime, Mr. Lunchtime Kitchen.
Hmm.
Um, so with that, literally after that whole ideal with the settlement case and stuff, I was not working, but I had my brand where I was cooking out my mom's kitchen.
Hmm.
You know, I was doing this in Quinton and literally just built my base up with support of family, friends, the neighborhood. And from there, it was just, that was a pivotal moment at my life because I was just trying to figure it out, you know, and then again, had a relationship that was a long, extensive time and still learning and whatnot, you know, and literally just going through the motions. Over the course of time and stuff, the lunchtime thing is going on, and I'm really trying to steady stay focused on this. However, in the course of the childhood, teenage years, and you know, just being very subtle with my answers so far, I've lost a lot of people along the road.
Mm.
You know, so there's a couple of people that you know are dear close to me. Deps, Spinner, um, my friend Demi, my cousin Shanice. Um, we've lost Scally Jones. There's a couple of efficient people that I've lost in my life. And then one that was pivotal while I was doing the lunchtime thing and in my area of Quinton and whatnot was um, my young boy, Baby J.
Hmm.
And so while I'm trying to navigate through life, there's all of these just blockbuster events that are happening. Right. There's a couple of more, but I can't if we're doing all the namings, we'll be here forever. At this point of life as well, I was very like kind of in a loophole of confusion and not really knowing the right direction. So I'm going with anything that's kind of comfortable. So after my kind of relation is fully over. I know that there's no coming back for it, and it can't be like why it once was. Um, I was transitioning into just fully focusing and doing my self means and stuff. So at that period of point, I was doing like more spoken stuff. I was trying to do like a media platform myself and whatnot,
Mm.
you know. Um, and then I had came across somebody that did the exact same thing as me, and they also had like a long line of interest of like um, media work and just being outspoken kind of thing, you know. So we had met through that, and then just whilst I was in that stage of life, comfort, and we had we had got together,
Mhm.
and yeah, there was a very drastic change in the storyline here. Like I'm saying, this was a freshly new relationship, and it wasn't supposed to be what it was supposed to be. It literally was supposed to be for the line of work and it. Just feelings, storylines, all got involved. I was 24, 25 at this point, so trying to like just be more mature before my time kind of thing. It was again one of those things where everything just happened so fast. So she had got pregnant quite early on. I was expecting my first child. So in the riffraff of the trials and tribulations and everything that was going on, and then the final loss before me finding out the pregnancy and everything was my nan in
Mhm.
2020 of November the 1st. And then literally like 24 hours later, I found out about my first child. Um, so a couple months in, things are wow. Uh, but the fourth month, there was kind of like health concerns and everything with my partner at the time, and then she had went to hospital, and because she was on the 18 weeks, yeah, on the 18 or 19 weeks, so don't quote me, but you can't be placed on the maternity ward. So meanwhile, these are the heights of COVID because we're just getting out, but these are the heights of COVID, early 21. This would be February.
Mhm.
Um, so while the whole she can't go on the maternity, they placed her on the COVID ward. So at first, everything's fine, everything's stable. The second day, there was difficulties and everything else. The third day, stable but difficult, stable but difficult. Sunday, um, I'm getting a FaceTime call, and then instantly I'm watching the birth of my first child at 4 months. It's traumatic.
4 months is a tiny, tiny, tiny baby. So this is a is this classed as a it's a miscarriage? Classed as a miscarriage.
I don't necessarily know because this wasn't explained to
Mm.
me. Like literally because Azari, who we did
Mhm.
name her, which at the start as well with the NHS, Russell's Hall Hospital, they had told us that it was a boy.
Mhm.
Couple weeks later, we're mourning a girl. So but with yeah, the size and everything and the capacity of what it was labeled as, I did believe it was a miscarriage,
Yeah.
but it was a very unique situation
Mm.
because that wasn't the cause of death, which we'll get into later on the timeline. Because the cause of death was unknown right until we had laid her to rest, and then we got the results kind of after. You
Mhm.
know, the cause of death was that COVID is it's basically COVID.
Mhm.
They had told us that it infected the placenta and it triggered birth early, so we're placing it as COVID. However, I didn't get time to grasp this or put these pieces together and whatnot because at the stage everything was just all of a sudden, and the partner at the time, um, she had wanted to do like a documentary around it and like really not make the loss of the child of Azari, like dampen her character, and she was always on goal for doing like her outspoken things for her community, which she was trying to really, really be an advocate for mental health kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. It was a
So
lot.
the official cause of death, they say that it was COVID. So mum had COVID, and obviously it triggered the placenta. Is that what they said in the end?
Basically, yeah.
Mm.
Which was crazy because obviously our COVID was explained. Like I'm right next to, so I would have to have symptoms, and the son would have had to have symptoms.
Mm.
No, just only them. But then again, can we argue that because they placed her on a COVID ward,
Yeah.
like that they were at fault? But like I'm saying, because me with the system and not patient, and then also like catering for um another source of feelings and everything while I'm going through my own masses of life,
Mm.
I wasn't able to focus to actually get like proper the actual truth from that. And obviously as the timeline goes back, I haven't really actually got to, you know,
Mm.
seek that help to get me through that stage of life. I feel like it's very stuck because I still didn't kind of understand it. The 2020, my nan, 219 was that's when my boy Baby J had passed away and everything. Um and then yeah, the losses and the feelings, and that's what like it was. I'd say that life was fed up though. Like I
Mm.
can't explain the feeling that I was feeling. Like I had just been like, I'm just ready to give up.
Mm.
However, there was a lifeline presented because my father, he was going to move that year to the motherland.
Mm.
So just seek the opportunity to want to start a fresh life and whatnot. But I just was at a standpoint where things were stuck, and for me, there was a lot of like, I'd say, bad energy that I was hosting in
Mm.
the year that I lost my daughter. Like it's like I was on type of time with anybody
Yeah.
because I'm willing to take my anger and frustration on anybody that I feel like is played with me crazy. So now I'm just like I've upped it now to be like, I ain't got nothing to lose. So
Mm.
it's just like a very empty feeling, very empty feeling. It just dragged because from February that Zari passed on the 21st, we laid her to rest on the 7th of May, you
Mm.
know, and it was all these delays and stuff because we was catering for, my dad was in Jamaica at the time
Mm.
because of my nan just passed, and he was still like patterning off what he needed to do with her stuff back there. So we delayed some time because I thought that he would make it in May.
Mm.
Obviously, we had the COVID restrictions and rules and whatnot. So while all of this is going on, it's just like, and there's a lot of events from outside that I won't speak on like full time, but like that are just drawing me out. Now I'm just in my car, just in the city, because just anything can like trigger me. And I remember just being on like Twitter at the time, and um, me and one of the guys and whatnot, not one of the guys at the time, he's one of the guys now, big him up, yeah. Um, like we was having this like little back and forth, and then to me he said something like that I deemed like not out of line, but literally I was like, okay then, bro, I'm outside right now. Now
Mm.
I'm coming to you like ASAP because I had that empty feeling and I wasn't like to lose like anything at that time. I didn't really care. So yeah,
Mm.
but I wanted a fresher breath air. So when my dad did come back, he said he's gonna do his last bits and bobs, but he's retiring full time and he's gonna move to Africa. The house is going to be ready in Uganda. So I just seen the opportunity. But the final straw for me to say, yeah, I am definitely going is that my daughter's space after she was buried and whatnot was vandalized for again for me to crash out. I went there like subconsciously. I went there like every 2 days, every 2 days just to make sure that it's in a neat space because at first it's just a stone. So I wanted to, because the baby, so
Mhm.
what I would have for my baby to just make it like a baby's grave, teddy bear,
Yeah.
glasses, just little sort of stuff, right? So when I got there, it was rearranged.
Mm.
Like I know what order I placed it is just rearranged for me to be like, yeah, because I've come to see and automatically know like who I believe
Mm.
it to be. So as I'm figuring out what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna react, how I'm gonna respond. I've made my decision. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. I've went to the line of address. I've removed the remaining stuff of my daughter, but it's on the front porch. So there's a door you can access. You don't need to go into the house or nothing. I was just doing that back and forth to my car, taking all the last bits, so I don't need to come back to this space full time.
Mm.
But I knew that's me. It's over with. I am going to a full time move. The very next morning, this is it's crazy because this happened on like the first official like Father's Day kind of thing.
Mm.
He's like it's crazy, and then I remember getting a phone call from my dad and him just going off and da 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 da. I didn't raise you to be like this, and I'm thinking like, what are you on about? I just from there, yeah. I just knew that I had to, yeah, kind of. Me and my dad had to kind of squash it on there, but I'm definitely moving. Like the UK
Mm.
right now, it's a trap for me to either be dead or go to jail.
Mm.
And I know that I'm confused, yeah, at this time, but if there's a silver lining, I'm gonna take it. So yeah, I ended up moving 21 in August.
So what was Uganda like? So you left the UK. The UK Uganda is obviously completely different culture, different environment. So what was that like for you?
Different space of life, and I my focus, my heart, mentally, I was still in the UK because I
Mm.
was still responding back to stuff personally because I was having this like little social media outburst
Mm.
and kind of exposing things from the city of like how people are really behind the scenes and they put on this like fake persona like and I was literally just like spazzed out. That was consuming my time of me embracing the motherland, So at that time, I was literally just in like a space where it's just every other day just felt like I was just angry at the world, In the meantime, I was still trying to learn the one or two
Mm.
about Uganda. When I freshly got there, we stayed in the hotel for some time, and then I got like a villa out there.
Mhm.
All right, so I was just trying to adapt to life. It was again, it was weird because the stuff that was going on down there, I wasn't really taking like into real life,
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, cool. My father, again, we was trying to amend our relationship, then it got disrupted because of again outside influences, and from there I was just literally just coasting out in the trenches.
So because of what was still happening in the UK, it didn't really improve much for the first bit in Uganda.
No, it didn't. Like obviously, I had some um, saved up with me and stuff like that, yeah. And I was literally focused on trying to build life from scratch, but I was still indulged in like responding back
Mm.
to things on the internet with the UK
Mm.
to the point where obviously it's affected my life in Uganda because like my dad is getting like calls and from outside influences to be like, oh, tell him to do this and tell him to do that. Me and my dad end up arguing, and now I'm just like literally in the space of Uganda trying to figure it all out by myself. And like, it's a time. It was a
So,
time.
so were you essentially like made homeless, or did
Nah,
you?
because I had like decent like change with me.
Mm-mm.
So, and it's just a lot of different events that had happened in it. Like my first house in my villa in Uganda, it got raided by the police and I guess the armed forces and like the
Yeah.
soldier thing in it. So that occurred, and I had to do like a day in in the Uganda prison. Never ever in all life that I have would I like to go to a Uganda
So
prison.
wait, you can't just skip over that. So let's go back. Like,
I can't.
so you need to tell us about what happened, how the house got raided.
I just went into the neighborhood and just let my presence be known.
Mm.
That because there's a strong word called Mozongo, which means foreigner,
Mm.
right? It's a Mozongo, it's a Mozongo, it's a Mozongo. There's a type, like different tribes, different type of people, and some young bulls try to kind of make a robbery.
Mm.
So after the whole event, I don't want to dive too deep into the serious matters of it. But after I was arrested for defending myself, Um, yeah, like literally within the next day and stuff like that with the storyline, it was it was accounted for and a neighborhood alibi and stuff like that. I was able to gracefully be let go.
So what was prison, well, jail, prison, whatever, in
I was only
Uganda?
there for like 18 hours, but it was like what it was probably 18 hours felt like 8 years. It was one of the worst of my life. But yeah, I don't want to dive too much into
Yeah.
the events of it because obviously it was a serious matter. But
Mm,
with like real life things, I still like believe in like the power of the tongue and stuff. So I'll
mm-mm.
just leave the storyline where it's at.
Yeah.
But literally, there was a robbery. I dealt with it in a way of how I know how to deal with it, right? And then I just let my presence be known that don't refer to me as this Mozongo and like
Mm,
um a second generation
mm.
Jamaican, and we're really like that in it.
Yeah.
We really like that just naturally. So
So after
yeah.
this happened, so after obviously you made your presence known, what was the time like now in Uganda?
um again, it was just this thing where I'm like it was just like a dark road. Like I kept on going lower and lower and lower to like the like not real return point. Because now I'm just out there. I fell out with my family because I've outed a couple people from my family as well, like that I don't believe had my best interest. So
Mm,
I'm doing this internet capping and whatnot, and then I'm out there literally figuring out for myself. So I get a little place in the village and I'm just starting life from scratch. Um, and then I'm still doing what I would do back in the UK though with like my community work and
mhm,
cooking. I also did like a couple events in my area in Quinton with like the young boys and stuff and the girls with like playing football and stuff at like the park and whatnot.
mm,
So I kind of took that motion to Uganda and went to a park, found some kids, and then kind of like was just finding my feet again and finding purpose back into life. Because I was situated, I didn't know if I wanted to ever come back to the UK, and I had done too much online to the point where I thought I'd never be allowed back in Birmingham in it because
mm.
I was just like, yeah, fuck bro, this, that, like everybody's a goofy, like, and I'm not rocking and rolling with the freatics and whatnot. While I'm in there in Uganda though, like I'm just literally finding my purpose. I got help with the young boys and stuff and navigating through the village
Mhm,
by a young lady again in a normal, vivid, like proper normal stance. I wouldn't naturally like be leading into a line to dating or wanted to date. So my second daughter, I was blessed with a second daughter out in Uganda as well. My time there
mhm,
as well. So again, it was kind of just life, just as low as it got. The minute that we had the little spark, and then um, my daughter's mother out there in Uganda got pregnant, there
mhm.
was hope, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, then life's not all just doom and gloom, is it?
Yeah.
And I was slowly finding myself,
Mhm.
slowly finding myself.
Okay. So then what made you come back to the UK? Or at what time, at what point did you come? How long did you spend out there?
3 years, 3
3 years.
years and 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
So almost 4 years
yeah.
basically. So what made you come back to the UK?
Like I wanted again purpose, vision, and even for me with everything that I've kind of gone through, because I haven't properly deeply said like every other day events because I don't feel like I've got that support
Mm,
in that manner. What I wanted to do to come back to the UK is just kind of establish myself again and like remember who I was before the traumatic events and like get back focused. Now that I'm a real life father physically, um, I believe that I'm like stronger to stay on my grind and stay on point and just be focused.
mhm,
I still have my entertainment factors and have social debates on Twitter and stuff, yeah. But I don't try to aggregate the crowd. But then when like they will spin their 1-2 with being disrespectful, because now it's come to a thing where when I'm having a line of back and forth, because I'm so vocal about my daughter and everything, the quickest, easiest thing is someone to say, "Oh, but your daughter's dead," innit?
mm,
And obviously for me, it's like I've had to kind of channel that as well, that knowing that I'm a person that what I put out there and how I'm debating and I'm knowing how other people will kind of respond to what they deem as disrespectful to them,
Yeah.
you know. But
Mm.
I just want to like come back down here and it show like because at that stage of life, I was getting called mentally unstable, um, this, that, and for me, obviously, I would always dismiss it and say, like, I'm not skits. I don't
Mm.
have BPD and all those mad things that you see on EastEnders and Coronation Street. You get it? And obviously, in our community,
Mm.
depression and stuff is not really labeled as a mental health. But
Mm.
I'm understanding low key. Okay, then chill though, like, because even when things flash up on my story and I see some of the stories and whatnot, I'm disgraced within myself.
When you look back, do you think that you were going through like like a stage in your life where your mental health was affected?
I don't believe in going back in the past, but if we can like answer the question, it's like I would have tried to put it this way: if I was more focused and I had more stuff going on, I would
Mm.
have had more support from family and friends. Um, I wouldn't necessarily had to have come back to the UK and put my affairs back in order. I would be more at a pivotal
Mm.
moment in life, you know. But there's a lot of blockbusters along the way,
Mm.
and I've just navigated how to become better, especially since turning 30, and what I'm going to put my time into, and
Mm.
what needs a response and what doesn't need a response, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. So you're back in the UK now. So what do you do now?
I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm in the line of like I do want to create my own like media platform
Mhm.
where it's not going to necessarily be a podcast. I have different type of things because my brand of lunchtime, um, it branches out into not just being about food. So I'm just looking at how I'm going to build a platform that I can be able to go around the UK, not just like because I'm situated in London at the moment,
Mhm.
right? But people who have brands and business and having a community base. I'm looking at building like a proper channel, you know.
Mhm.
So I've got that going on, and at the same time, um, I'm looking at revisiting studying.
Okay. So what would you want to go into?
Well, I'm looking at project management,
Mm.
and I believe obviously because as well back in my teen years and stuff, I didn't have the focus and patience for education, and I kind of dismissed it with being distracted by being outside the crowd, the parties and stuff like that. And like I want to put a testament to my character and who I was supposed to be, kind of thing,
Mhm.
and to remain in good balance, you know. Actively at the moment, I have a GoFundMe which I created in March of this year. I had one successfully reach its target last year, which was
Mm.
raising funds for the orphanage that I was kind of sponsoring whilst I was out there. I say kind of because I didn't really. Again, I was just living like a free life in Africa, like no paperwork and vibes.
Yeah.
Literally just like just going around and just going around, but like doing my one twos of what I can do for the community.
Mhm.
So I got my heart got captured by one that I believe that is really like they say who they are and they actually put on because with charity and all these you have to be careful who you're supporting because
Mm.
the people, the organization, they're not might be stealing the not stealing, but taking the majority of the profit and not
Yeah.
providing
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
what needs to be. You know, so we achieved that. We achieved that, and how I ran it is that I'd send the equivalent of like £10, £20
Mhm.
on a monthly basis, so they can get food supplies for that particular orphanage.
Mhm.
Now, the GoFundMe at current, I want to build a football league in my daughter's memory in her name. So it'll be called the GoFundMe is Azari Jordan Foundation and
Mhm.
Football League, right? And I want to execute this by 2027.
Okay.
So we've got a set target, um, and the set target is set at 3,200. This will all go to the financing of the pitches, the um, employers, the program, and me also wanting to financing the kids properly because I found in Uganda as well, like football is not like a luxury. So if they're playing like a Ugandan Premier League and stuff, it's like basically the equivalent to uh, no, because every job is there's no job that's like underneath anything, but it's
Mhm.
not a mover kind of thing. It's not a career path.
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, um, playing football in Europe is generational wealth.
Mhm.
So you get it like it's not the same. And I want to be the cause of actually giving something back to the motherland.
Okay.
So
Amazing. So I'll link that in the bio. So if anyone wants to support, but thank you for coming down to the store today and
thank you very
sharing your
much.
story. And
Thank you
that's a
very
wrap.
much. Lovely.